I spent 43 years building Hayes hardware from nothing, 22 years raising my son alone after his father died. Today, on Mother's Day, my boy handed me a stack of papers and said I needed to sign myself into Shady Pines retirement community. For my own good, he said. His wife sat beside him, filming my reaction on her phone. What they didn't know was that I'd been recording them for 3 weeks. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Patricia Hayes. I'm 58 years old, and until 6 months ago, I thought I had the perfect relationship with my son Ryan. He's 32, a corporate lawyer in Manhattan, married to Vanessa, a woman who makes her living posting pictures of her breakfast on Instagram. I know that sounds judgmental, and maybe it is, but you'll understand why in a minute. Ryan called me 3 months ago, in February. Said he wanted to plan something special for Mother's Day this year. Could he and Vanessa come stay with me for the weekend? We could do brunch, maybe go to that garden center I love, make a real celebration of it. I was thrilled. I hadn't seen much of them since the wedding 2 years ago. They were always busy, always traveling for Vanessa's brand partnerships or Ryan's cases. Every time I suggested visiting, there was a reason they couldn't make it work. So when Ryan proposed this Mother's Day trip, I jumped at it. I started planning immediately. I had the guest room repainted, bought new sheets, the expensive Egyptian cotton ones from that boutique in town. I scheduled a dinner reservation at Marcello's, the Italian place where I used to take Ryan for his birthday when he was young. I even closed the hardware store for the whole weekend, something I'd never done in 43 years, not even when I had the flu so bad I could barely stand. The week before they arrived, Vanessa called. "Just checking in," she said, making sure I had oat milk for her coffee, making sure the Wi-Fi was strong enough for her to post content, making sure the guest room had good lighting for photos. I said yes to everything. I wanted this weekend to be perfect. They arrived Friday evening. I'd made Ryan's favorite, pot roast with those little red potatoes he used to fight his father for. Vanessa took one look at the spread and announced she was doing a cleanse. "Just lemon water for her, thanks." She spent the entire dinner on her phone, occasionally angling it to capture Ryan cutting his meat. "Content," she called it. I called it rude, but I kept my mouth shut. Saturday morning, I got up early and made pancakes from scratch. Ryan used to stand on a stool next to me, helping me crack the eggs when he was 6. I thought maybe the smell would bring back those memories for him. He came downstairs in his pajamas, kissed my cheek, told me everything smelled amazing. Then Vanessa appeared in a matching designer pajama set, took one pancake for a photo, and announced they were going to that new juice bar in town. Did I want to come? I could drive them, since they'd taken an Uber from the train station. I should have seen it then. But I didn't want to see it. Sunday. Mother's Day. I woke up to find a card on the kitchen counter. "To the best mom," it read. Generic, store-bought, inside, Ryan had scrawled, "Love you, Mom," in that handwriting that hadn't changed since high school. No message from Vanessa. There was a gift bag next to it. I opened it to find a candle, still with the home goods price tag attached. $14.99. I'd given them the down payment on their apartment last year, $60,000. The money I'd been saving to finally take that trip to Ireland, to see where my grandmother was born. When Ryan said they'd found the perfect place in Brooklyn but were just short on the deposit, I didn't hesitate. What's money compared to your child's happiness? That $14.99 candle sat on my counter like a slap in the face. But I smiled. I thanked them. I suggested we head to brunch at the cafe I'd mentioned. Vanessa said she'd already made a reservation somewhere better. Somewhere Instagram-worthy, she said with a little laugh. Somewhere, my small-town cafe wouldn't cut it. We went to her choice, a place 40 minutes away, with a 2-hour wait and $12 coffee. I paid, of course. Ryan's wallet stayed in his pocket. We took pictures, Vanessa's arm around my shoulder, all of us smiling. She posted it immediately with a caption about family and gratitude and blessed. Within minutes, hearts started popping up. Hundreds of them. On the drive home, Vanessa said she needed to talk to me about something important. Could we all sit down when we got back? I felt my stomach drop. I thought maybe she was pregnant. Maybe they were moving overseas. Maybe something was wrong with Ryan's health. It was so much worse. We sat in my living room, the room where I used to read Ryan bedtime stories, where we'd opened Christmas presents, where I'd held him while he cried about his father's death. Vanessa positioned herself on the couch, Ryan beside her. I sat in my armchair, my father's armchair, the one I'd reupholstered myself. Ryan cleared his throat. "Mom," he said, "we need to talk about your future." "My future?" I asked. "I'm 58, not 88. Vanessa leaned forward, her face arranged in an expression of concern that didn't reach her eyes. "Patricia," she said, and that was the first red flag. She'd never called me Patricia before. It had always been Mrs. Hayes. Or after the wedding. Just a vague mom she'd never quite committed to. "Patricia, we're worried about you." "Worried about me?" I echoed. Ryan pulled out a folder from his briefcase. "Mom," he said, "you're living alone in this big house. You're still working full-time at the store. What happens if you fall? What if you get sick? Who's going to help you?" "I have friends," I said slowly. "I have neighbors. I have you." "That's the thing, Mom," Ryan said, and I heard something in his voice I'd never heard before, something that made my skin prickle. "We live in New York. We can't be here if something happens. And honestly, maintaining this house, running the store, it's too much for someone your age." "Someone my age," I repeated. "I run a successful business, Ryan. I'm in better shape than half the people in this town." Vanessa put her hand on Ryan's arm. "This is hard for him," she said to me. "You have to understand, we only want what's best for you." And she smiled. "God help me." She smiled like she was doing me a favor. That's when Ryan slid the papers across my coffee table. I picked them up with shaking hands. The letterhead read, "Shady Pines Retirement Community." Below that, admission agreement. Below that, a line for my signature. "What is this?" I whispered. Ryan couldn't meet my eyes. "It's a really nice place, Mom. We toured it last month. They have activities, group meals, medical staff on site 24/7. You'd have your own room, your own bathroom. You wouldn't have to worry about anything." "Last month," I said. "You toured this last month. We wanted to make sure it was perfect before we brought it up," Vanessa said brightly. "And it is, Patricia. It really is. You're going to love it." I looked down at the papers. Below the admission agreement were other documents, property transfer forms, power of attorney. My hands started shaking so hard I almost dropped them. "What are these?" I asked, pointing to the property transfer. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. "Well, Mom, you can't keep paying for this house and the retirement community. That doesn't make financial sense. So Vanessa and I thought we'd take over the house. We'd handle selling it, or maybe we'd keep it as a weekend place. Either way, you wouldn't have to worry about it." "You want my house," I said flatly. "We want you to be taken care of," Vanessa corrected. "And this way, everything stays in the family. Your grandbabies will grow up playing in this yard someday. Isn't that beautiful?" I didn't have grandchildren. Vanessa wasn't pregnant. She was talking about a hypothetical future while trying to ship me off to a nursing home and steal my house. "I need time to think about this," I said. "Mom," Ryan started, but I cut him off. "I said I need time to think," I repeated, my voice harder than I'd ever used with him. "This is my life we're talking about. My home. I'm not signing anything today." Vanessa's face flickered with something ugly before she smoothed it back to concern. "Of course," she said sweetly. "Take all the time you need. We just want you to know we're here for you. Right, Ryan?" "Right," Ryan echoed, but he still wouldn't look at me. They left that evening instead of Monday morning like they'd planned. Some excuse about Ryan needing to prepare for a case. Vanessa hugged me goodbye, told me to think about what a relief it would be to not have so many responsibilities. Ryan hugged me too, but it felt mechanical. Obligatory. I watched their Uber pull away from my driveway. Then I sat down at my kitchen table and cried for the first time since my husband's funeral. But I only let myself cry for an hour. Then I got angry. Then I got smart. Monday morning, I called my lawyer, Tom Morrison. We'd gone to high school together, and I'd known him for 40 years. I told him everything. He listened in silence, and when I finished, he said 3 words, Don't sign anything. Then he told me something that made my blood run cold. Those property transfer forms? They weren't just to sell the house. They were structured to transfer ownership to Ryan and Vanessa immediately. The power of attorney gave them control over my bank accounts, my business, my medical decisions. If I'd signed those papers, I would have had nothing. No house, no money, no say in my own life. Tom said he'd seen this before. Adult children convincing aging parents to sign away everything. Usually the parents realized too late what they'd done. Usually by then, the money was gone, spent on the kids' lifestyle. The house sold to fund their dreams. The parents stuck in a facility they couldn't afford to leave. I asked Tom what I should do. He said I needed proof of their intentions. Recordings if possible. Evidence that they were coercing me, manipulating me. So that's what I did. I called Ryan that night. Told him I'd been thinking about his proposal. Could he and Vanessa come back next weekend? I had some questions about Shady Pines, about the paperwork. I wanted to understand everything before I made a decision. Ryan sounded relieved. Of course, Mom, he said. We'll drive up Saturday morning. We can go over everything together. That week, I went to Best Buy and bought 3 small recording devices. One I put in the living room, hidden in the bookshelf. One I put in the kitchen, tucked behind the coffee maker. One I clipped to my cardigan like a brooch. The young man who helped me set them up didn't ask questions. He just showed me how to check the recordings on my phone and wished me good luck. Saturday morning, Ryan and Vanessa arrived with coffee from Starbucks and pastries from that expensive bakery in Brooklyn. Vanessa was filming again, capturing their arrival, my greeting, the way the morning light hit my kitchen windows. Content for her followers about visiting family in the suburbs. We sat down with the papers spread across my dining room table. Ryan went through each one, explaining in his lawyer voice what everything meant. Vanessa interjected with reassurances. You'll be so happy there, Patricia. No more shoveling snow. No more fixing leaky faucets. No more worrying about inventory at the store. What happens to the store? I asked. Ryan and Vanessa exchanged a look. We'd probably sell it, Ryan said. The property's worth more than the business at this point. We could get a good price for the building and the land. 43 years, I said. I've run that store for 43 years. And you've done an amazing job, Mom, Ryan said, putting his hand over mine. But it's time to rest now. You've earned it. I pulled my hand away. I need to use the bathroom, I said. I'll be right back. In the bathroom, I checked my phone. All 3 devices were recording clearly. I could hear every word they'd said. I took a deep breath, steadied myself, and went back out. They were whispering when I walked back in, but they stopped when they saw me. I sat down and picked up a pen. So if I sign these, I asked, when would I move to Shady Pines? As soon as possible, Vanessa said quickly. We already have movers on standby. We could have you out of here by next week. Next week, I repeated. That's very fast. It's better to rip the Band-Aid off, Ryan said. Less time to overthink it. And you'd move in here? I asked. To my house? Eventually, Vanessa said. First, we'd probably do some renovations, update the kitchen, maybe knock down some walls. Open concept is very in right now. My kitchen, I said slowly. The kitchen my husband built with his own hands. Ryan looked uncomfortable. Mom, that was 30 years ago. Things are different now. I set down the pen. I'm not signing this today, I said. Vanessa's face hardened. Patricia, we've been very patient with you, but you're being unreasonable. This is for your own good. You can't keep living in denial about your age. I'm 58, I said. Not dead. You're being selfish. Vanessa snapped. And there it was. The mask slipping. Do you know what we're giving up to help you? Ryan could be working right now. Billable hours he's losing to deal with your stubbornness. We came all the way up here twice in 2 weeks when we have our own lives to live. I think you should leave, I said quietly. Mom, Ryan started. But I stood up. I said you should leave. Both of you. Now. They left. Vanessa snatching up the papers, muttering about ungrateful parents. Ryan paused at the door, looked like he might say something, but Vanessa grabbed his arm and pulled him out. I watched them drive away. Then I called Tom. That week, I did something I should have done immediately. I went through Ryan's old room, the one he'd left exactly as it was when he went to college, the one I'd kept pristine like a shrine to his childhood. In his desk drawer, beneath old term papers and baseball cards, I found his iPad. The old one he'd replaced 2 years ago and never bothered to take with him. I charged it, logged in with the passcode he'd used since high school, the year he was born, and I started reading. Text messages, automatically backed up to the cloud. Months of them, Ryan and Vanessa's private conversation thread. 3 months ago. Your mom is sitting on a gold mine and doesn't even realize it. That house is worth at least $800K in this market. 2 months ago, I looked into Shady Pines. Cheapest option I could find. $3K, month. We clear $750K from the house, minus that. We're set. 6 weeks ago, she's so lonely, she'll probably be relieved. Play up the safety angle. 3 weeks ago, Mother's Day is perfect. She'll be emotional, grateful, she'll sign anything. Last week, God, she's being so difficult. Maybe we need to push harder on the incompetency angle. My firm handles elder law. I know the process. And then yesterday, after they'd left my house, next time we're not asking, I'll draw up conservatorship papers. 2 doctors' signatures saying she's not capable of making her own decisions and we can force it. The house will be ours either way. I read every message 3 times. Then I forwarded them to my email. Then I called Tom again. By Monday, I had a plan. I called Ryan, told him I'd been wrong. I'd been scared, but I'd thought about it, really thought about it, and he was right. It was time for me to stop being so stubborn and let him help me. Could they come this Saturday? I was ready to sign. Ryan sounded surprised but pleased. Of course, Mom. We'll be there Saturday morning. And Mom, I'm proud of you. This is the right choice. I spent that week preparing. Tom helped me draw up papers of my own. Real estate lawyers, financial advisors, people Tom trusted. We created a new will, a new power of attorney, documents that protected everything I'd built. I moved money to accounts Ryan didn't know existed. I transferred ownership of the hardware store to a trust. Saturday morning, Ryan and Vanessa arrived right on time. Vanessa was filming again, talking to her phone about difficult decisions and doing what's best for family. Ryan had his briefcase, all business. They sat down on my couch. I sat in my father's armchair. The recording devices were running. So, Mom, Ryan said, pulling out the papers. Are you ready to do this? I have something I need to show you first, I said. I pulled out my own iPad, connected it to my TV, the one Ryan had bought me for Christmas 3 years ago, the last real gift he'd given me before Vanessa came along. What's this? Ryan asked. I pressed play. His own voice filled my living room. Your mom is sitting on a gold mine and doesn't even realize it. Vanessa's face went white. Ryan's voice again. Cheapest option I could find. $3K. Month. We clear $750K from the house. Ryan stood up. Mom, where did you get these? Your old iPad, I said calmly. The one you left here. The one still connected to your iCloud. The messages kept playing. All of them. Every cold, calculating word. When it finished, Ryan couldn't look at me. Vanessa was already crying, mascara running down her face, but not from sadness, from rage. You had no right, she hissed. Those were private conversations. You had no right to try to steal my life, I said. Then I picked up my phone. And before you think about denying any of this, you should know I also have recordings from the past 2 weeks. Every conversation we've had. Every manipulation. Every lie. Mom, Ryan started, his voice breaking. Mom, I can explain. Explain what? I asked. Explain how you plan to declare me mentally incompetent so you could steal my house? Explain how you were going to lock me in the cheapest nursing home you could find while you spent my money? Explain how you did this with the woman you married, the woman I welcomed into this family? It wasn't supposed to be like this, Ryan whispered. We just needed the money. Vanessa's career. It's not as stable as it looks. We have debts. The apartment, it's more than we can afford. We were going to take care of you, I swear. In a $3,000 a month facility while you lived in my house, I said. While you sold my business. While you spent my savings. Vanessa stood up. I'm not sitting here and being attacked like this. Ryan, let's go. But Ryan didn't move. He just stared at me. And I saw something in his face I hadn't seen since he was a little boy who'd been caught lying about breaking a window. Shame. I have new papers for you to sign, I said. I slid a folder across the coffee table. Ryan opened it with shaking hands. A promissory note, I said. For the $60,000 I gave you for your apartment, you'll pay it back at market interest rates. Monthly installments. It's all outlined there. Mom, Ryan breathed. We don't have that kind of money. Then you'll find it, I said. The same way I found money to raise you alone after your father died. The same way I found money to pay for your college, your law school, your wedding. You'll figure it out. The next paper, I continued. This is a formal agreement that you will never contact me again unless I initiate contact. You will not ask for money. You will not visit unless invited. You will not make any claims to my property, my business, or my estate. You can't be serious, Vanessa said. I've never been more serious in my life, I told her. And Vanessa? This last one's for you. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screen. It was her Instagram page. The Mother's Day post was still up. #blessed, #family first, #grateful. If you don't sign, I said quietly, I'm going to comment on this post. I'm going to share every screenshot of those messages. I'm going to tell your 100,000 followers exactly what kind of person you are. Vanessa's face went from white to red. You wouldn't. Try me, I said. She signed. Ryan signed. When they left, Ryan paused at the door one last time. Mom, he said, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to me. I know exactly what happened to you, I said. You married someone who values money over people. And you became someone I don't recognize. The door closed. I sat down in my father's armchair and didn't cry this time. Tom came by that evening. It's done, he said. All filed, all legal. They can't touch you. I nodded. Then I asked him something I'd been thinking about all week. The hardware store. What if I didn't run it anymore? What if I sold it? But on my terms. Tom leaned forward. What are you thinking? I'm thinking I could sell it to the employees, I said. Mark's been with me for 20 years. Sarah for 15. They know the business better than I do at this point. I could sell it to them, owner financing. They'd pay me a salary for the next 10 years. Retirement income. The store stays in good hands. I get to rest like Ryan said I should. But on my terms. When I'm ready. Tom smiled. That's brilliant, Patricia. 3 months later, the sale went through. Mark and Sarah threw me a retirement party. The whole town came. I gave a speech about community and trust and building something that lasts. Ryan wasn't there. But I was okay with that. I took that trip to Ireland. Spent 3 weeks tracing my grandmother's footsteps through County Cork. I scattered some of my husband's ashes at the cliffs where his family came from. I ate soda, bread, and drank whiskey, and felt more alive than I had in years. When I got home, there was a letter waiting for me. Ryan's handwriting. I read it standing at my mailbox. It was short. He'd left Vanessa. The marriage had been built on money and appearances, and without my money, it fell apart. He was in therapy. He was working on himself. He wasn't asking for forgiveness. He just wanted me to know that he was trying to become someone his father would have been proud of. Someone I could be proud of. I didn't write back. Not yet. Maybe someday. Maybe when I was ready. But that night, I took out the photo album from Ryan's childhood. I looked at pictures of a little boy who used to help me in the hardware store, who used to hold nails for me while I fixed things around the house, who used to tell me he was going to buy me a castle someday. That boy was still in there somewhere. But he had to find his way back on his own. I turned 59 last month. I'm planning a trip to Scotland next spring. I'm volunteering at the library on Tuesdays. I'm teaching a woodworking class for women at the community center on Thursdays. I'm living my life exactly the way I want to live it. And every Mother's Day, I buy myself flowers. I take myself to brunch. I celebrate the mother I was, the mother I am, and the mother I refuse to let anyone take advantage of ever again. The candle Vanessa bought me? I donated it. Still in its packaging. Some gifts aren't worth keeping.